to come back to Michigan right as the weather just decided to be super disgusting.
No, that's okay. We grew up here, so we should be thick. We should be thick by now.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, how is it? How has it been being back? I mean, on your home turf, I guess, kind of, but in Michigan.
It feels incredible. I think well, we have wonderful fans, but there's no fan base quite like the home state fan base, and they're wonderful. They've welcomed us in.
Yeah, I can only imagine. I know they can get I'm a fan, but everybody can get a little crazy. But what was it like last night? I know last night was obviously the kickoff show in Kalamazoo. So what was that like?
It was spectacular. It was raw. It was we always kind of compare the first shows of tours, because it's typically the first show establishes where you're at, and then you kind of progress as you go throughout the tour. And as far as first shows go, that was probably the most fun, and at least we felt very impactful towards others. So that it went really well, I think. It is certainly a different sort of feeling. The energy is a lot higher in the rooms, and there was particularly one little instance last night where Josh's microphone stopped working at the very beginning of the set, the first song. It was Heat Above, and he was singing in the mic and nothing was coming out. So while they were trying to fix that, the entire crowd joined in and actually sang all of the words so loudly that it took his place, and that was cool. I don't think you could do that without such a large dedicated crowd. So that was one of the coolest things I've experienced.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, it's the very first song, and you have technical difficulties, but that's a very cool, very cool
Right.
moment for sure. And this is kind of it's a huge tour. I mean, you have so many dates. You have 5 shows just here in Michigan, but you're going all over the country. How do you guys even begin to prepare for something like this?
We started, well, we had quite a bit of time over this pandemic over the last
Sure.
couple of years. So right when things started shutting down, we all came together in Nashville, and we immediately started playing and playing and playing and writing, but mostly just kind of playing and building up chops, because touring for 3 years in a row really made us better musicians. And we realized that if we kind of stopped that, then you kind of lose a certain momentum that you have going. So we spent a lot of the last 2 years playing around, and we spent a lot of the last few months really committing ourselves to rehearsals and kind of developing a very tight show. Obviously incorporating some new elements production wise and everything, trying to make it a little bit more grandiose now that we can, which is awesome. But no, we've really just played our butts off for the last few months and tried to make it so it's secondhand muscle memory at this point.
And you guys have so much more material now that you have, the new album. So how do you even begin to sort through the songs and pick what's going to go on that set list?
It was very tough. We actually, so historically, we would write our sets right before we go on, which is fine in its own way. It kind of kept it entertaining. We could never play the same set because we just had songs we wanted to play one night, and sometimes we didn't want to play them one night. But now, production wise, with everything that we have going on, we had to kind of meet in the middle, because a lot of artists, they have like an established set, and that is the set list for the entire tour or whatever, or year even. And we just can't do that. We'll kind of turn into robots. And so we met in the middle, and we wrote out a few different set lists. And some incorporate songs that aren't played as often. And our main goal is try to cover the entire new album between all the set lists. And we've done that, I think, which is great. But it is a tough choice, and all the songs are very different. So it's like, if you add this one, you kind of have to take away this one. Otherwise there's two of this, and you kind of have to, we like to have a lot of range in our set lists.
So it sounds like if people are going to multiple shows, they're going to kind of see different songs in each place.
It's exactly what that means.
Perfect. Okay, awesome. And I know, at least from what I've seen online, a lot of the people in Michigan are, people are flying in from across the country. They're staying overnight. They're going to multiple shows. What does it mean to see that kind of, dedication from the fans?
I think it's extremely special. I don't think you see that very often anymore. And I think that's one of the coolest parts about getting to do what we do is those moments are special and those people are very special, and it's reassuring that they are continuously coming to see the art and the changes, and that means they have a lot of faith in us, and that we're going to constantly provide something different for them each show in and out. But it's really the most special part about all of it.
Yeah, absolutely. I know, you guys are obviously very creative, always, playing these shows and I'm sure practicing, but is there new music in the mix somewhere? You guys always writing, or how does that process kind of go?
We are always writing. Back when it was a lot busier, we were kind of forced to write on tour, which is fine because our sound checks before we go on are a little longer than I feel most bands go, just because we're not on tracks or anything. So we can just kind of go up there and start playing whatever we want. And a lot of times, like most of the Battle at Gardens Gate was written on stage during sound check, or on stage, even on stage when we're kind of just jamming around. But we've had a lot of time over the last couple of years to get together, and if we didn't feel like rehearsing our own songs that we'd already have developed, then we would kind of explore some new ideas. And we have quite a list of new songs going, and we've actually been in the studio a little bit already and have established a base. So I think we're looking pretty good. At least this time we won't be too busy in and out of touring.
Well, awesome. That's awesome to hear. We have some new music potentially on the way soonish.
Well, as soon as we can. Yeah,
Yes, you
absolutely.
guys are very busy right now. It's okay. I don't know. I'm sure you guys obviously saw it, but the Michigan Senate declared it Greta Van Fleet Week in Michigan. What is up with that? How cool is that?
That is one of the coolest things, and also one of the most wild things I've heard in my entire career as a musician. I think that's really cool, though. I think it's really special. And also it's kind of an honor. Ken Horn, the state representative, is a hometown local of ours and a very kind gentleman. And to kind of hear the words that he said about us is just very, very honorable and nice. And I couldn't thank him and the state of Michigan anymore for that.
And my last question that I have is, you are back here in Michigan. What are some of the things that you missed doing that you can kind of revisit in the probably short amount of time that you have here?
Well, one of the things personally for me is I'm a huge golfer, and I grew up playing a lot of the courses competitively, but also just leisurely around Michigan. I think that's going to have to wait until the snow melts from the ground and the temperatures rise a little bit. But that's one that I haven't played my hometown course in years, so that's still up there on my bucket list. But also we used to go over to Lake Michigan all the time and do camping and visit some family over there and spend a lot of time on the lake. We miss the Great Lakes. That's a big one for us too, and we keep talking about trying to get back and spend at least a weekend there.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know that you probably have a lot of family and friends, that are going to be at these shows in the crowd. What does it mean to have them, there supporting you guys?
It's incredible. We all have large families, and we are given a certain amount of um, or a certain amount to invite to all of the shows. So and it's very fortunate that we have the 5 shows. We were able to kind of spread it out. It's like, all right, this group of families going to go to this show and this one and that one, and they're all relatively close. Michigan, the shows aren't that far apart.
Mhm.
But it's cool because we have a lot of family members that really haven't seen us in, especially after the pandemic, upwards of 5 or 6 years. And it's going to be a big change. And it's just cool to have the opportunity to bring everyone together. Usually it's like a holiday or some sort of birthday or something, and then it's like it kind of feels cool that you can be the epicenter of that gathering. That's really special.
Yeah, like you guys are kind of the glue that's bringing your family, everybody together. So that's so awesome. But
Yeah.
is there anything else that the fans should know? I mean, this is such a huge week. I mean, just in Michigan, but it's kicking off this like amazing chunk of your life. So what should people know right now?
We're back, and we don't plan on stopping unless we absolutely have to, because that was way too long. and that means writing new music and recording and trying to get everything out as quickly as possible. But not rushing the art. And honestly, that's about it. Just keep your eyes open for more shows.
All right, perfect. Well, I'm personally going to the show in Grand Rapids tomorrow, and then I'm going to one of the later shows in Ohio. So I am super excited. I cannot even wait. I haven't seen you guys since you were in playing the like 3 shows in a row in Detroit, and then like later in Detroit. So
Well,
super
this is
fun.
going to be wonderful. You're going to love this.
Have a
All right.
good tour.
Thank you very much. Rock and roll.